I cannot believe, after taking it in the chops, in the shorts on game day morning from my compadres for all 4 hours, Steve Mariucci making his bold prediction about Jameis Winston. He's going to go 39 for 62. The fact that Kurt Warner went on the air and just made some bold prediction that Brady was going to throw for 400 yards with 4 touchdowns and 4 rushing yards because that's the number of losses Brady's Michigan has taken to Urban Meyer under Jim Harbaugh. Can't believe after that and then this show and getting owned by a 5-year-old boy at the end of game day morning. Cannot believe I'm sitting here Wednesday morning saying if Texas beats Oklahoma and Northwestern beats Ohio State and Georgia gets beat down by Alabama, there's a path for Michigan to make it into the college football playoffs.
If that happens, that is an absolute joke.
Well, isn't that what last night's college football ranking says? Isn't that what that says?
No, that's not what it says.
Why not? Why not? Because the way I view it is you're ranking these teams, and should they win, all of them, that you just move up a peg, right? So even if Georgia beats Alabama, Alabama still would have the same number of losses as Ohio State and the same number of losses as Oklahoma. So shouldn't Alabama fall below them because they lost most recently? That they didn't win a conference championship, right? No, we've seen before.
Wow.
Where they overlook that sort of stuff.
Right.
Texas beats Oklahoma. Northwestern beats Ohio State. And Alabama beats Georgia, destroys them. Let's say they just beat them up like they've beaten everybody up. Everybody moves. So Michigan just sitting on their couch coming off of giving up a 60 burger. They don't get the 4th spot. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? Tell me who gets it. Is it Ohio State because they beat up Michigan? No, well, wait a minute. Michigan's losses are to a conference champion regular season in Ohio State and also a member of the college football playoffs in Notre Dame. They didn't lose to Purdue. And Oklahoma, I mean, okay. They lost to Texas twice. Why don't I have a case? And here's the point. I shouldn't have a case. There shouldn't be a case. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid what's going on in college football. These conference championship games are ridiculous. Think about it. Ohio State can win the Big Ten championship game. Oklahoma could win the Big 12 championship game, and neither of them makes the Final Four. Neither of them.
That's kind of a joke.
It's entirely possible that that's going to happen. So then what the hell are we playing these games for this weekend? What's the point? Get rid of them. Get rid of them. I want 8 teams in. I want the regular season winners of the Big 5 conferences in. Automatic bids. And then I want the 3 at large. And get them in a room, whoever these people are that came up with that last night, get them in a room and give me 3 more. Give me 3 more. And this is how it would work. Right now, your 5 would be Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Washington State, and Alabama. And guess who could play themselves in? Or have an argument to play themselves, having already played themselves in? Georgia. You take a look at the second place teams. Here's where your at-large would come from. Your at-large would come from these following teams. Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Washington State, and Alabama are in. And I know that ruins the Apple Cup. But guess what? Win more games during the regular season. The regular season means that much more. But Washington could have just played themselves in with that big win over Washington State, right?
Right.
So here are the second place teams in each of these Big 5 conferences who, along with Notre Dame and UCF, would be in the consideration for these final 3. Syracuse, Michigan, Texas, Washington, and Georgia. And guess what? In my mind, only one team would have to come out of there because Notre Dame clearly gets in as an at-large, and you could say, well, that means we've got to go on the road for the first round of the playoffs because to me, at-large bids you couldn't get a home game.
So the at-large bids
At-large bids have to go visit.
6, 7, 8?
No.
Even if Notre Dame's undefeated?
No way. You got to go to them. You got to play them at home.
Okay, so we could tinker with some of this stuff.
Okay.
You could then reseed. I gotcha.
Yep.
I gotcha. So I was about to say that's what you get for being independent.
Okay, you got a point there. I can't argue that one, Rich.
Hear me out here. Okay, so your 5 in are Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Washington State, Alabama, because you got your automatic bids. And now from this group, you need to choose 3. Notre Dame, UCF, Syracuse, Michigan, Texas, Washington, and Georgia. UCF and Notre Dame are in.
Why is UCF in?
Because they're undefeated. That's why.
Yeah, but Rich, they don't have their quarterback. So why do I want to see UCF lose by 50?
Because they've earned it.
They've earned the right to lose by 50?
How do you know they're going to lose by 50?
Even if they had their starting quarterback, they lose to Alabama by 50.
Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see a Cinderella story like we lionize when 68 teams are allowed to play basketball's playoffs. Let me see a college football UMBC. Give me a shot here.
Love it. Yeah.
That's why we watch sports. And if it's a 50-0 waxing, so be it. They earn a right. It's absurd every year this team, UCF, goes undefeated, and we treat them like they don't deserve it because they don't play big-time college football, even though they do play. They play, what do we call it, FBS now, right? I don't even know. Right, it's FBS, right? Look, Delzer.
FBS.
Right. Come on. Put them in. Put them in. And they'd be the 7th seed. Who would be the other team? There'd be a hell of an argument. Georgia could make it. Michigan could make it. What if Texas beats Oklahoma? They could make it. Well, again, the conference championship games would be out anyway. Then they're all in. And we sit around this weekend instead of watching football games where one of them means something. For sure. Ohio State could beat Northwestern and not make it. Oklahoma could beat Texas and not make it. Oklahoma's forced to beat the same team twice. What the hell are we doing? Ohio State, after dominating Michigan, now could get totally ruined by a Northwestern team. Then I'll tell you what. This could be Purdue Part 2. In, by the way, Indiana.
Pesky.
In Indiana, right next door. I guess to both states. At any rate, bottom line is this. 8 teams, what the hell are we wasting our time for on all this stuff? But hey, while it's like this, I'll root for my other alma mater in Northwestern. Hook 'em. Hook 'em, baby. Especially since Oklahoma fans, and I know who you are out there, Zach in Century City, rooting against my alma mater this week. Turnabout's fair play. Hook 'em. Hook 'em. And go Tua. Tua, lay it on the Bulldog. And I love dogs. You know I love dogs. Ugga.
You do love dogs.
Give me a bone, Ugga.
Yeah.
Lay it on Ugga. And I'll sit back on my couch, licking my 60-burger wounds, saying, what do we got? Because you put me 7th.
But is that how you want to get in?
Damn straight.
Who cares?
That's the rules now.
But you want to sneak in the back door knowing you got absolutely embarrassed last weekend?
Let me check on my morals and thoughts and inner gut. Because, guts are, sometimes more important than brains from what I hear these days. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. 844-204-RICH.
Okay.
Damn straight, man.
But then where does it end? So we get into 8, and we're debating about this 3, and then now do we go? Now do we go to 12, and the first 4 get a bye? Then what are we doing?
Excuse me. This is not just something
No, I know.
I have been pounding this table I'm sitting at now for 4+ years for 8 teams.
Yes, and I understand that.
We just named the 8 best teams or a pool from which the 8 best teams can be chosen. And it doesn't ruin the regular season. You still you have to win the regular season to get your automatic berth.
Yeah, you still got to win.
To not be on a bubble where somebody's sitting in a room and spitting out a name. I wonder what UCF fans think. That my alma mater just gave up a 60-burger to Ohio State in the big game, and they can't even crack that ranking above Michigan with 2 losses.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.